Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show, guys. Wow, Trump is bulldozing through everybody right now, and nothing is stopping this guy. I love it, guys. Not only did we get over the weekend, these judges tried to come in and tell Trump to bring back these criminal illegals into the country. So the DOJ, who's working heavily with Trump, released a new document stating that President Trump will not follow the orders of these activist judges who are interfering with national security. They have no merit, and he will continue to protect America at his highest level. Guys, this is what we want to see. The Department of Justice stepping in, doing what needs to be done, backing up the president to make sure America's put first. And not only that, Trump also came out today and said that we're going to see in the next 24 hours the 80,000 pages related to JFK assassination. This is huge. He said it's going to become in the unredacted form, and that he is fulfilling a promise that he made on the campaign trail and back even to 2016. He said we're bringing transparency back to the White House and to the security departments of the United States of America. And he also went ahead and stripped Hunter Biden and Ashley Biden's Secret Service protection and said that they make enough money off of the American people that if they want security excursions, or if they want to take excursions to South Africa and have Secret Service, they can pay for it with their dad's money, not the taxpayers. The Democrats are just furious right now. They're mad because inflation is lowering. We're deporting Venezuelan gangs. We're bringing back the astronauts home safely, which they could have did during Biden's administration using SpaceX. Gas prices are dropping. Border security is at a record low. We have free speech that's coming back to all of the platforms. We're cutting fraud, waste, and abuse. They are literally sympathizing with these terrorists that are being deported. And to top it all off, eggs prices are dropping dramatically. What more could you want? This is amazing breaking news, guys, we got today. I love it because it is literally, we're still less than 2 months in to Trump's presidency, and so many things are happening. We are winning. MAGA's winning. America's winning. I want to say thank you to all of our subscribers, to everybody who's watching. I want to say if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Let us take care of you every day with the top news. And I want to say thank you to everybody who is a member of the channel. If you want to be a member, the link is in the description to join. Remember, this is the last day for if you want to get a t-shirt from the TruelifeNews store. And I'm sorry, guys, I completely forgot. I'm doing it right now. I'm adding the t-shirts to this video. So if you want to refresh, you can see it at the bottom and click on it. But I am super excited that we are moving. We're moving in the right direction. And it is 100% what Trump promised on the campaign trail. And want to say thank you to everybody that's given a super chat donation. And if you don't mind hitting that thumbs up like button, guys, we are seeing the magic happen. We've got fireworks going because Trump is making it happen. Check this out. Let's hear this. If they said no that many times, then maybe whenever they did pardon him, he wasn't cognitively all there. This is what they're talking about. Guys, if you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting that thumbs up like button, this is what we're talking about, that he did not know what was going on. Because prior, up until the last few months, how many pieces of evidence do we have? He said no, 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 no. And to a jury, maybe to a judge, this shows that maybe he was in such bad cognitive decline towards the end of his presidency that he had no idea what was going on. That's what we're talking about. The evidence is mounting. You cannot deny this with multiple people, high-level leadership that are coming out and saying, like, this dude did not know what he was talking about. So Trump comes out and says Hunter Biden has had Secret Service protection for an extended period of time, all paid for by the United States taxpayer. There are as many as 18 people on this detail, which is ridiculous. He is currently vacationing in, of all places, South Africa, where the human rights of people has been strenuously questioned. Because of this, South Africa has been taken off of our list of countries receiving economic and financial assistance. Please be advised that effective immediately, Hunter Biden will no longer receive Secret Service protection. Likewise, Ashley Biden, who has had 13 agents, will be taken off the list. FAFO. He's not playing around, guys. All the stuff that they're uncovering, everything that's being released, it's all by design. Trump knows that as we continue to move forward, he's got to keep bringing the news. We got to keep hitting the Democrats hard with every single punch that we can, because that's what's going to take them out and show people how much they are so far off from doing what America needs to be done, from putting America first. Check this out.
Fortunately, there's no luck of the Irish for the Democrat Party, who seem to have hit shamrock bottom in 2 new polls. NBC finding 55% of Americans have a negative view of the Democrats, and CNN is echoing that with 54% viewing the party unfavorably. But it looks like President Trump has found the pot of gold. 47 is hitting his highest approval that he's ever had as commander-in-chief. And he's got more Americans than ever saying that the country is headed in the right direction.
Let's go.
First of all, the mood of the country, this really jumped out. We asked folks, is it on the right direction or the wrong direction? That 44% who say right direction, that's up since November. And if that doesn't seem like a lot, the last time it cracked 40%, you got to go back to 2012. The last time it actually hit 44 or higher, January of 2004.
And while President Trump soars with a united Republican Party at his side, the angry Democrats are tearing each other down in a full-blown civil war. The loonies are now making Chuck Schumer the scapegoat after he caved and backed the Republican spending bill.
You know why, Dems suck at messaging? Because they never talking about nothing, and they do nothing.
The idea that Chuck Schumer is the only one that's got a brain in the room and the only one that can think through all of the pros and cons is absolutely ridiculous.
I've never seen this level of volcanic anger at a Democrat ever. I think Chuck Schumer has radically misread the room.
And I'm pissed.
Yep.
Okay, so, there's actually little that the Senate minority leader can say, and the 10 Democrats that voted with the Republicans can say, to appease somebody like me. I'm about to change my registration to independent.
Chris Matthews isn't feeling that thrill up his leg over a familiar face making fun of the Democrats.
They laugh in a kind of a humiliating way about their opponents instead of, you watch Gutfeld at night. All it is making fun of Democrats.
Yeah, if you're triggered, I don't want to hear it. I want to hear the facts.
And meanwhile, the Democrats are doubling down on the radical wing of the party that could sink them for good. AOC is leading the pack of potential leaders of the Democrat Party. All right, Greg, I'll start with you, seeing as Chris Matthews is not too happy with you.
Fan of yours.
He says that you are humiliating the Democrats.
When you lose Chris Matthews,
you lost everything.
It's time to retire, America.
That was a compliment.
No, you know that he'd never heard of the show before until he's heard about it on NPR, and now he has to outlaw laughing. Again, I said this before. If you're the neighbor that is living next door to somebody throwing a party, do you call the police on them? Or do you go over there, introduce yourself, say hello, and say, hey, do you think you could turn it down a little? They're the neighbor that calls the police. They want to have fun, but they just can't. I think, what you're seeing, again, is the consequences of identity politics. They thought that expanding the tent by just getting all these identities together, create little boxes, stack them on top of each other, that would work. But what happened is, by adding one box, 3 left. They became a sanctuary for silliness. If you start, we're so inclusive. We believe men should be in girls' locker rooms. We support Hamas supporters. We don't want you to deport gangs in American cities to their countries that they came from. We back every recidivist criminal and every race hoaxer. What happens is, by inclusivity, you excluded the normal people and they wanted to get the hell out of here. Pretty soon, the face of your party became the hysterical activist screaming on behalf of Hamas at Columbia. So you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of those women who write letters to men on death row. and then they marry one of them. Their maternal compassion gets hijacked. Used to be animal rights, but now it's militants and trans. And when you hear the chants on campus, it's all predominantly female voices. The party has become the troubled, lonely woman who marries a mass murderer, and they're stuck with them. The party's got to realize, they got to realize that compassion is not compassion if it's for the wrong thing. True compassion is telling somebody who's doing a bad thing not to do it, which is what we've been doing before. This is the heart of compassion for the Democratic Party. The Dems no, it's true. We've been telling them, no, stop that. But now they have no plan B, which is ironic.
Okay. All right, Brian, given the apparent disconnect between the public and the positive view of the direction that the country's going and the negative view of the media and the Democrats, is this like signaling like a larger shift in politics in America?
I think so, because the Democrats really have no way of addressing, they're not realizing the Republicans are addressing a problem. I mean, whether you like it or not, Social Security is going to go bankrupt in a few years. Whether you like it or not, the Medicare formula for giving people health care has got to be reformed right away. The deficit is a problem. It's 7.2% of all our revenue. These have to be addressed. It's not my idea. This is an emergency 5-alarm fire. So what the Republicans are doing is saying, okay, this is how we're doing it. This is how we're doing it. And all they're saying is, what a bunch of bad people. And isn't Donald Trump awful? I mean, we have to find a way to build a ship in under 5 years. We can't do that anymore. If Democrats have a better way to do that, let's hear it. So enough of the personality. I know you're obsessed with Donald Trump, but he's gone in 3.5 years, right? 3 years, 3.75 years. You have to have your own plan. And Chuck Schumer, I hate to say it, the New York Post is right. He had no choice. Yep. He had to do this. I mean, for them to unload on this guy when he lost the day the speaker passed the bill on a party line vote, except for Jared Golden and on one other voter and Massey. For me, Schumer actually did the right thing. Mitch McConnell would have done the same thing, because you lost on election day. You lost both houses and the White House, and then you lost when Speaker Johnson did his job. So if you went ahead and did what they wanted, Donald Trump would be laughing all weekend.
That's right.
He'd be like,
because think about it, guys. No matter what, it's a win-win for the American people, for MAGA. If they fight against it, then we go into a shutdown, and then guess what? Who gets blamed? It's the Democrats. Why? Because all the Republicans are for it. They sign it, and then the Democrats implode, and they're fighting each other. This is what we call the Democrats have no base. And I'm super happy about it. I don't know about you. If you're super happy about it, if you don't mind hitting that thumbs up like button, thank you so much for your support. We're going to continue to see this happen, guys, hopefully for the next 3.5, 4 years if we win the midterms.
funding everything I want and not funding anything, and it's all your fault, Democrats. So he had no choice.
You know, Dana, Simone Sanders was so disgusted. And, you know, by being angry, it's like, we can say Schumer did the right thing, but it's like she's ignoring the fact that if the Democrats don't like DOGE, they were giving Donald Trump the ability to DOGE the whole government by saying who is considered an essential worker and who isn't.
Yeah.
Guys, let me tell you this. Like, all this stuff that keeps popping up, Trump is winning and kicking everybody's butt. Scott Matthews, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. Said black trans women just hit the top 10 here in LA. I love it. Y'all show Scott some love in the chat. And Teresa Weber, thank you so much, said, sure, we'll turn the planes around, judges home for house arrest, only ankle bracelet, and give their buddies the judge's address too. I love it. Y'all show Teresa some love in the chat. Guys, remember how the Democrats have always been saying the 1% should pay everything. Make the rich pay their fair share. Trump says, hey, let's balance the budget. And then, you know what? If you make under $150,000, which includes 92% of all taxpayers in the United States, you don't pay any federal income taxes. And now the Democrats are losing it. Think about it. For the past 4 years, I promise you, Trump has been studying, has been going through every single thing that all the think tanks, all the ideas, what needed to be done to make the biggest impact, an everlasting impact, so that he could have the greatest presidency ever if he won. And that's exactly what he's doing. And what I love is that, again, too, it's not just here at home, guys. It's that foreign policy that he is literally kicking butt everywhere. Check this out.
President Trump at the Kennedy Center, where he announced that tomorrow 80,000 pages, the last 80,000 pages of the investigation and documentation are going to be released. Also, President Trump is going to have the first telephonic really meeting on this topic in a real sense. He's talked to Putin before and clearly on the run-up. And there was discussion today about Crimea, what the situation in Crimea is. So the beginning of the rapprochement with Russia and some sort of deal to end this war in Ukraine, this bloody, needless war, will kick off tomorrow. The release of the Kennedy documentation is supposed to be scheduled as President Trump for tomorrow. We're trying to get Rick Grinnell in the second hour to join us. He's been in communication with me. If he can do it, he's going to do it. Julie Kelly is also finished from the court hearing, and we're going to complete report on Julie. Just to reset the battlefield, and this is why we kind of went off the chain this morning, because we had to. The legal aspect of this is we have been warning about, and their tactic is quite evident. They can't defeat President Trump because what he's doing is constitutional. They can't stop President Trump, but they can slow it down. To delay is to deny, and all they're doing is fighting a rearguard action to delay this, and hopefully, in their case, delay it through the midterm elections. And folks, don't think they're not going to try to drag this out. Virtually in every area where President Trump is trying to either deconstruct the administrative state, take on the deep state, or just to effectuate his policies, like, as we said, the situation on the deportations, the securing of the border, the deportations, all of it. We're in federal court. I think there's 22 to 32 the suits right now that are actually have standing or in the courts being judged. Essentially everything on his ability to make decisions on money. You got that $2 billion that's there for foreign aid that the federal judge at the first level saying, no, you've got to, you got to pay it. Sorry about that. Also, the firing, the riffing, the downsizing. I think the probationary, they've ordered two different courts, San Francisco and now Maryland, have ordered that the probationary folks be hired back. So everything is on this. Also in the deportations, it's just the first phase to get the most hardened criminals out. These are gangs that would, if they were in Mexico, would be terrorist organizations. Right? This is not even question about the violence and ferocity of these gangs. Federal judge is stopping that. Julie Kelly's going to be at the top to walk us through it. Because everything President Trump's doing, whether it's on the economic side, whether it's on stopping the kinetic wars, whether it's on everything with securing the border and the deportations, the main three events. He's being thwarted at every level, whether it's tariffs, whether it's talking about, what he's trying to do to bring jobs back. At every level, they're fighting him. They're fighting him, even when he announces good news like bringing jobs back. So this is full on. As Claire McCaskill just said, she says the action for the next 2 years is going to be in the court. Yep. At the same time, they have to stand up some political operation. You saw the fact where the Democrats are in the 20s as far as approval. So clearly they can't do it with those guys. They're going to try to do something different. And this is what Natalie's been doing such an amazing job of, all these different billionaires that are essentially trying to finance a color revolution. And you're going to see all this AstroTurf protesting. You're seeing them at the Tesla dealerships right now. Now, listen, do I think that there's a ton of these progressives who all drank the Kool-Aid on the electric vehicle at the beginning that are now having second thoughts because Elon Musk came and he turned Twitter more to the conservative side, and he's clearly helping. He's the inspiration behind DOGE. He's overseeing DOGE in this deconstruction of the administrative state, and they're freaking out, right? They hate him now because he's like an apostate. That is turned against their beliefs, and they hate it. Yes, that's some of it, but a lot of this is being paid for by these billionaires that want to use Elon Musk and his efforts to turn it against President Trump, and that's where they're going to Tesla dealerships. That's why you saw these big crowds the last 2 weeks in Pennsylvania and Wisconsin for Bernie Sanders, and they're ratcheting up, and they're taking, remember, all these oligarchs were progressive Democrats until 11 o'clock p.m. on the 5th of November, 2024, when it was obvious that President Trump had won the presidency for the second time, and they were in absolute shock. total shock. They all flipped. They ran to Mar-a-Lago. Those billionaires are progressive Democrats. And now progressive Democrats are going to go out and say, oh, it's families over billionaires. Where were you folks for years and years and years as you gave them the monopolistic basic business models, never put the Justice Department on them, never put the Federal Trade Commission on them, never tried to break them up, but allowed them to become not companies or capitalistic companies worried about markets and profits, but basically tech feudalism oligarchs that are just digital platforms in rent because they're rent seekers. And everybody's a digital serf. That is Bernie Sanders. That's AOC. That's the entire Democratic Party. Now, because of political expediency that we've exposed it, they all want to run to that. But the rest of this is all 100% astroturfed.
Guys, and that is 100% true. Like, everything that we're seeing, I promise you, Trump knew it was coming. And Trump's trolling him the entire time. He knows. Look at this. Trump put out, look at that. 2017 to 2021, Trump. 2021 to 2025, a pin. And then Trump now. Trump knows that this is how the Biden presidency was run. And now that he's coming out and he's exposing everything and he's literally releasing all these files, guys, like for the first time ever, what we're about to see in the next 24 hours, everybody's been wanting to see for decades, but it's bringing transparency back to the American people. If you appreciate this, guys, if you don't mind hitting that thumbs up like button, thank you so much. Check this out.
So we're at the Kennedy Center. It needs a lot of work. We're going to fix it, make it beautiful. It's a very big part of the fabric of D.C. and the Capitol. We're bringing back the Capitol. We're bringing back our country. But while we're here, I thought it would be appropriate. We are tomorrow announcing and giving all of the Kennedy files. So people have been waiting for decades for this, and I've instructed my people that are responsible, lots of different people, put together by Tulsi Gabbard, and that's going to be released tomorrow. We have a tremendous amount of paper. You've got a lot of reading. I don't believe we're going to redact anything. I said, just don't redact. You can't redact. But we're going to be releasing the JFK files, and that would be tomorrow. Do you have anything else to add to that, Carolyn? So that's a big announcement. They've been waiting for that for decades. And I said during the campaign I'd do it, and I'm a man of my word. So tomorrow you have the JFK files. What time will they be released? Tomorrow afternoon. Okay.
Have you seen what's in the files? Have you read them?
I've heard about them.
Was there anything interesting?
It's going to be very interesting.
Was there an executive summary supplied to you, President?
No, I'm not doing summaries. You'll write your own summaries. It's many pages. Is it 80,000 pages?
Holy
Approximately
moly.
80,000 pages. So it's a lot of stuff. And you'll make your own determination.
You have criticized President Biden for using auto pen in the last few days. Have you yourself ever used auto pen, sir?
Yeah, only for very unimportant papers. And I don't call them unimportant. If you do letters where people write in and, they'd love to have a response, and we'll write responses, and I'll sign them whenever I can. But when I can't, I, would use an auto pen. But to use them for what they've used them for is terrible.
Yes, sir. And when you signed the CR,
Who are you with?
Sir, I'm with NBC News.
Oh, that's the same one. I don't want to talk to NBC anymore. I think you're so discredited.
Mr. President, when most people think of the Kennedy Center, they think of the Kennedy Center Honors. It takes place in December every year. Is that something that you anticipate hosting at the White House? And what do you think that
We're going to have honors. We're going to have, I think it's going to be a much bigger show than it has been in the past. It got tired, very boring, very radical left. Unless you were a radical left, it just seemed that nobody was chosen. There are a lot of people out there that can get the honors, and we're going to do it. I think we'll have a very big show. It's going to be a very big show. We have some surprises on that show, some big surprises, but I think it has a chance to be a very big show. That's a big part of the Kennedy Center, the honors that evening. And so I think you're going to be really surprised. I think it's going to get great ratings, actually.
Mr. President, there's been some discussion about potentially meeting with Putin in your administration. If there is a peace deal signed, would you consider, would you be open to inviting Putin to the White House?
Well, I don't want to really even discuss it. I got to get the deal. I've got to get the deal signed. 2,000 people a week sometimes are killed. And we have to get that agreement signed. But that's the only thing I think about.
Are you confident that that could happen tomorrow, as soon as tomorrow?
We're going to have a very important call. You know, we've had calls, but we're getting down to a very critical stage. And we want to get the whole Russia-Ukraine thing done. And I think Ukraine wants it. I know they want it. Everybody wants it. It's tremendous death. The bloodshed is unbelievable, like few people have ever seen before.
And on the drug cartels, do you have a red line for the drug cartels that if crossed, it would automatically trigger a military response from the U.S.?
Well, we'll see, but we're not going to put up with it. This country is not going to allow people to come in and dump drugs and kill our youth and other than our youth, too. Older people are very much affected, so it's we're not going to let that happen. Thank you very much.
Mr. President, on the 30 days.
Guys, did you see how he called out NBC? Said, I don't want to talk to them anymore. And I love it, guys, because again, too, this is his last term. Doesn't have to do this anymore. And what I love is that he is answering the questions. He is promises made, promises kept. But what I love is that everybody that he's got around him is because he 100% chose them. He knows them, they're loyal, and they're going to make sure that they get the message out of what is actually going on. Just like this.
I just want to come on here and make sure that you guys are fully informed and aware that the Democrats and the media are very triggered today. They are very upset. And the one thing they are extremely upset about is that President Trump and his great administration, border czar Tom Homan, who is doing the greatest job we could ever ask for. It's what we all voted for. How dare they? This is what the Democrats and media are upset over. They are upset that how dare they arrest criminal cartel members, murderers, rapists, and pedophiles, and put them on airplanes and fly them to El Salvador to go to prison. That is what they are carrying on, and they're so upset over. They're calling them migrants. They are calling criminal cartels murderers, rapists, and pedophiles. They're calling them migrants, and they're upset that these criminals, cartel members, violent murderers, rapists, and pedophiles were sent to El Salvador on planes and put in prison. That's the message from the Democrats. That's the message from their shills in the media. That's what they want you to know. That's what they're mad about. Now think about this. Did they complain and carry on about the Biden administration opening our borders up and invading our country with millions and millions, tens of millions of people from all over the world? No, they didn't complain about that. Did they complain about several hundred Americans dying every single day from Chinese fentanyl that's trafficked across our border by cartels and sold all over the United States? No, they didn't carry on and on about that. Did they go on and lament and bring on expert after expert and talk in detail about the timing of the horrific illegal monster that murdered Laken Riley? Did they talk about the day that he came in the country? Did they talk about when he went to New York? Did they talk about when he was arrested in New York? Did they talk about when he was released in New York? Did they talk about the timing of when he came to Georgia and when he murdered Laken Riley? No, they didn't do that. But you know what they did tonight? They went in massive detail talking about these deportations of criminal, violent cartel members, and they talked about the judge's order in detail, the timing and all this stuff. You know what, though? They don't care about Americans. The Democrats and the media hate this country, and they remind us every single day. And today, they made sure to remind all of us how much they hate America and how much they fight for cartels, migrants, and foreign countries and foreign wars. That's what they talk about every single day. They don't talk about the price of eggs coming down. They don't talk about the price of gas coming down. They don't talk about inflation coming down. No, they work very hard to make sure that their message to you is America last. And that's what you need to know today.
Guys, is that not so real? Like, and we're seeing it with our very eyes. Like, Trump is making history right now, guys. This is his message he put out today. Trump, tomorrow morning, I will be speaking to President Putin concerning the war in Ukraine. Many elements of a final agreement have been agreed to, but much remains. Thousands of young soldiers and others are being killed. Each week brings 2,500 soldier deaths from both sides, and it must end now. I look very much forward to a call with President Putin. Like, this is what Trump's focused on, while the Democrats and the media are focused on, hey, we got to go pull back gang members. Let's bring them back to the United States. It literally makes no sense. Thank you so much, Chip Trap, for the super chat. Let's go. He said extremists on the left tried to force us to stop using gasoline and buy electric cars, and now they're using gasoline to torch electric cars. Wow, that is 100% true. I love it. Y'all show Chip Trap some love in the chat. Because again, too, even one guy who's like, I'm done with my Tesla. Elon sucks. I'm going to go drive a Tahoe. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, Tahoe uses it gets like 11 miles per gallon. Like, these people are like, they're so hypocritical. They only do things that follow their agenda, and then they get caught on it. And then we see it. It's common sense. I want to say, if you don't mind, guys, thank you so much for your support. Hitting that thumbs up like button. Thank you so much. Check this out.
Counselor to President Trump, Alina, welcome to you. So did President Trump and his administration act within the confines of the law with these deportations?
Absolutely. Under Article 2, the president is allowed to do this. Number one. Number two, let's not forget that the people that were on this, and I saw the clip earlier in your show with The View, again, hitting with the absolute garbage that they give their viewers, saying that, they are going to come after you, they're illegals, and they just swipe clean people and take them on a plane. No, these are gang members. These are members that President Trump has delegated and said are terrorist organizations. Tren de Agua is a terrible organization that has taunted and hit many Americans. Look at the Kaylin Riley. Look at what they're doing, Laken Riley. It's not okay. And what we've done is removed these individuals from our states. So then to have a federal judge come in and say, hey, I don't agree with the president of the United States with an executive order, it's unthinkable and it's ridiculous.
So Judge James Boasberg is going to be holding a hearing on this 4 o'clock this afternoon in federal court. One of the petitioners to continue to allow this to happen is Michael Kozak. He is a career nonpartisan employee at the State Department. He's been there since the early 1970s. He said that all of this was a result of very delicate and intense negotiations with two countries. Here's what he wrote in part in the filing. He said, these arrangements were the result of intensive and delicate negotiations between the United States and El Salvador and between the United States and representatives of the Maduro regime. The foreign policy of the United States would suffer harm if the removal of individuals associated with TDA were prevented. So he is making the argument that this is a national security, foreign policy issue and not an immigration issue. I think that Judge Boasberg seems to be looking at this as an immigration issue and not from the national security foreign policy standpoint. What do you say?
Right. So when you bring a foreign national into this country illegally, and then we have to remove them and we negotiate with foreign countries for their removal, and we make a deal with those countries, that is a policy issue that the State Department has purview to do. Let's not forget, again, going back to the executive order, the president ordered and mandated this, and the American people mandated this on November 5th. We were to remove these individuals that are hurting our citizens who came in here illegally, and they have to go to a separate country and get out of there. So yes, it's a foreign policy issue. Border Patrol obviously deals with foreign countries. It's not that difficult. And the fact that we are having this kind of pushback is frankly just ridiculous. It's very simple. America doesn't want criminals in our country. You want to come into our country, you can, but you will do it the right way.
In a fierce defense of these deportations, Caroline Leavitt, just a few moments ago at that White House briefing podium, detailed the atrocities of these illegal gang members. Listen.
I would remind everybody in this room that Tren de Aragua is a foreign terrorist organization operating within the United States of America because the previous administration allowed them to invade our country. These are monsters who tortured, raped, and murdered a 12-year-old Jocelyn Nungre. They murdered 22-year-old nursing student Laken Riley. They led a multi-state sex trafficking operation involving smuggling women into the United States, holding them in stash houses in Louisiana, Florida, New Jersey, Texas, and Virginia, and forcing them into prostitution. They kidnapped and murdered a 33-year-old woman in Texas. They sexually and physically assaulted a woman and her daughter in Wisconsin. They conducted a mass shooting in Illinois. They peddled untraceable ghost guns across New York City, took over an Aurora, Colorado apartment complex where they kidnapped and tortured victims. And by the way, many of you in the mainstream media said that didn't happen. It turned out that it did. And because of the effective immigration policies of this administration, those foreign terrorists were detained and they are no longer operating on American soil. And we have President Trump to thank for that.
Elena, no doubt that was a fierce reminder of the horrors of some of these crimes.
Yeah, and actually one of my focuses of my portfolio is human extortion, human trafficking, and labor and cyber and finance extortion that has happened because of these individuals bringing minors, bringing women, bringing individuals over the border and then seeing them get tortured. And the facts that she mentioned, those are just public ones. I assure you what I've been briefed on is so severely disturbing that if America knew just 10% of it, they would be happy to have these individuals out. They are a danger to our society, and they have no business being in this country.
So, Alina, this act was passed in 1798 when the United States was on the brink of war with France. It's been used 3 times since, once during the War of 1812, again in World War I, and then World War II, where it was used to justify the internment of about 120,000 people of Japanese descent in the United States, which became a dark moment in this country's history for which the U.S. apologized and paid reparations. But are you confident that in this particular application of the law, it will stand the test of time?
I am. And if you need to call it a war, let's call it a war on fentanyl crisis. Let's call it a war on sex trafficking. Let's call it a war against the individuals that have been murdered, that have been violently raped, that have been hurt so violently by these animals. And they are animals. These people, as Caroline astutely said, we can name every single gang that they're affiliated with. We know if they were not affiliated, why they were on that plane, because they came in illegally. She went through it. She gave everybody a breakdown. We know what we're doing, and we're doing it. We're doing it well. And that's why America is safer. That's why our border is safer. And that's why we're going to get fentanyl crisis along with tariffs and everything else that we're doing to get that out of our country all back together, because this country, what happened the last 4 years, it's despicable. We have a lot of work to do, and having rogue judges try and stop America and the president from doing the job that he was elected to do is silliness and has to stop.
All right, Alina, thank you so much for...
Golly, I love it, guys. I don't know about y'all. I love the pit bulls when they come out and they're kicking butt and they're making sure that we're not going to be pushed over. MAGA's not going to be pushed over. Trump's not going to be pushed over. We're going to make sure America is safe and America is put first. Thank you so much, Ty Matt Chong, for the super chat. Let's go. He said, let's go, Trump. Stop the steal. This wording used in South Korea's CCP out. People who protest to protest President Yoon, South Korea. Let's go. Y'all show Ty some love in the chat. Guys, let me show you this, because what you're about to see next, I'm telling you, everything is coordinated. It's all a big scheme. They've been stealing for a long, long time. LeVar Charleston, former DEI chief at UW-Madison, was fired from his position after he was caught improperly approving lump sum bonus payments, raises, and travel event expenses, according to the university records. Some of these payments included a $50,000 raise to himself, a $32,000 reimbursement to a department member for a trip to Hawaii, and an $18,000 on student massage services. I know what you're thinking, guys. I know what you're thinking, but this is what we're dealing with, guys. This is how bad it's getting. Because right now, if you want to make some extra money, I'll go ahead and let you know, you can make between $40 to $200 an hour protesting against Trump right now. That's what the going rate is, guys. Don't believe me, guys? We got people on the ground. You're about to see this. This is insane. that this is how far they're going to try to get on the news and try to make Trump look bad. Celestino Marina, let's go with the super chat. Let's go. Y'all show Celestina some love in the chat. Guys, y'all are so amazing. Thank you so much for your support. I love it. Check this out.
Well, I want to focus on the group Indivisible before we sort of backtrack into Families Over Billionaires, because for what it's worth, Families Over Billionaires is not an actual group that exists. If you wanted to donate money to them, you couldn't. They're part of Arabella Advisors. They're part of the left-wing dark money network, the 1630 Fund. But I think Indivisible, and frankly, Steve, I think that this is a very important narrative, right? Because the idea that the press corps is trying to foment and really gin up is that the American people don't support DOGE. They don't support really draining the swamp, right? Coming after the administrative state and tackling a lot of these programs like USAID that have no demonstrable benefit to American citizens, right? That is the truth. That is the fact. And Indivisible, which has really been the backbone and spearheading so much of these protests and demonstrations, well, they're actually paying not just these protesters to participate in these town halls, to go after their members of Congress. They specifically have a, quote, Musk or Us program where they're paying protesters up to $200 to participate in events like these. But I have new reporting coming out today highlighting how they are now subsidizing up to $1,500 per Indivisible group to host events that they describe as, quote, appreciation celebrations for members, quote, advocacy, recruitment, and get out the vote work. They also are subsidizing group retreats, whether that's for things like cookouts and barbecues and pizza parties, or what they call solidarity building events like DEI training. You can even see if the picture you have up on screen, people can choose if they want to be reimbursed via check, direct deposit, or their distributed fundraising account, right? And
guys, so look at this. You want to have a group retreat, barbecue, ice cream social, coffee chats, book clubs, game nights, beach gatherings, hikes, virtual get-togethers. We're going to pay you $1,500, but we really want you to teach about DEI, to go against Trump, to go against Elon Musk. Like, this is literally saying, and how much you want to bet? Hold on. I've got to see this, guys. Your Indivisible group, is it a NGO? I gotta see if this is an NGO, guys. I want to see this in real time. I'm sorry I didn't do this earlier, but it just came to mind, and this is like, I want to see okay, it's classified as social welfare is a 501c. Yeah, it is. It's NGO. You see, guys? So you're telling me this is what I'm talking about. They were giving taxpayer money to these NGOs like this, and then we end up paying for people to go pay them to go organize against our president, having all these parties, coffee chats, book clubs, game nights, beach gatherings. Like, this is how corrupt it is. This is what Elon Musk was talking about, and I'm about to show you something next is so important that we get rid of, that our dang taxpayers are paying for this. How messed up is this? $1,500.
I just think that stories like these, it's really important to drill down, because if you look at it broadly, right, how the left-wing media presents it, they never drill down on how these protesters, these individuals, are being funded by Soros-funded entities, by these left-wing dark money networks. The people that you're seeing, it's not like they are organically or altruistically deciding to protest something. They are being paid to do so. Yep. And in the same vein, right now, AOC and Bernie Sanders, which I guess that's their last-ditch effort, that's the only thing they have to try to push back against the wins and victories of President Trump, to support, right, the working class, yet in the same breath they can't come out and oppose illegal immigration. Try to square that in your mind. I mean, they're no worse than these paid protesters, right? They're essentially the ultimate glorification of what it means to be a paid protester. They're so bought and paid for, whether it's by the dark money, the special interests, or in the case of Bernie Sanders, the Koch brothers. We know right after he took money from them, suddenly he never talked about open borders anymore. So all of these groups, I cannot stress this enough,
It's not just a psyop, it is full-blown information warfare that frankly fits in quite nicely to the sort of architect that is the color revolution, whereby one of the key pillars of that is creating really astroturfing fake mass demonstrations, fake protests, trying to make it seem like the American people are so adamantly opposed to what the Trump administration is doing. And I've watched, Steve, a lot of these phone calls, the mass mobilization calls that Indivisible is putting on, and they have something that they like to tout called the 3.5% rule, where they believe that if just 3.5% of a population of a society really believes something and speaks out about it and protests, that is enough to block something that is otherwise super popular and received, in the case of President Trump, tens of millions of votes, the popular vote, and of course the Electoral College. So this is the level, the granularity to which they are planning and advocating these tactics, these protests behind the scenes. They're not organic. They're very well funded. And the same with this Families Over Billionaires group that's bankrolled by a Swiss billionaire. But I'm sure all the press that's not too far away from me right now, they probably won't be melting down about foreign election interference or foreign collusion, because it doesn't fit the Atlanticist Russia narrative.
Guys, do y'all see this? Like, this is why, like, I hope you appreciate this, guys. Like, I want you to know about everything. I want you to see the truth, what's going on behind the scenes, guys. That's why whenever, we ask you, hey, if you don't mind hitting the like button, it's free, guys, that you support us, guys, because we don't have sponsors. We're doing this and we're busting our butts to try to make sure that we get the most breaking news for you. But this is, again, why they hate Elon Musk so much. Why people are literally out to get him is because he's revealing all this corruption. Our taxpayer dollars are going to fund some dude or lady who doesn't want to work to go have a game night and then try and protest Trump. Like, that's literally what's happened. And then they say, why are we mad? I mean, why wouldn't we be mad? This is our hard-earned tax dollars. Listen to this.
It coded for what it's going for. Federal government doesn't work that way. They don't code what the money's going for.
They do now.
But they didn't.
They didn't.
And like one of the things that you told me, you said if any company kept its books the way the federal government does, they'd arrest the officers and put them in jail.
Yes. If it was a public company, it would be delisted immediately. It would fail its audit, and the officers of the company would be imprisoned. That's the level of malfeasance in the federal government, unfortunately.
It's stunning.
Deliberately, or do you think this is incompetence again?
It's 80%. It's 80% incompetence and 20% malice.
So if you look at DOGE now, and you look at the government and what you're finding, what percentage have you guys even gotten to, and how much of it is Mars, where you haven't even gotten there yet because there's so much you're finding out here? I mean, how many? You seem like a timeline guy when you say, all right, I want to get in there and get all these, numbers and things. How far are we from the end game where you've seen it all, been able to process it all, and fix it? I mean, are we years away, months away?
Not years. I'm reasonably confident that we'll be able to get $1 trillion of waste and fraud out, and that meaning that it will have. We'll have a net savings in FY26, which starts in October, obviously, of $1 trillion.
Wow!
Provided we're allowed to continue, and our progress is not impeded.
Yeah.
And we're very public about what we do.
Yeah, you put it on the website.
Fact, it's on the website. I don't know how we could be more transparent. Right. Literally every action we do, small or large, we put on the doge.gov website, and we post on the X handle. And when people complain about it, and they say, "Oh, you're doing something unconstitutional," I'm like, "Well, which of these cost savings?"
You're doing it in the daylight. I mean, everyone knows exactly what you're doing.
Extreme transparency.
Yeah.
So I don't think anything's been this transparent ever.
So 5 years ago, you were a hero to the left. You were cool. You had electric cars. You had space. And in 5 years, you've gone.
I could go to a party in Hollywood and not get dirty looks.
Yeah.
In fact, yeah.
And
now you might not even get invited.
I
still get invited, but I don't know if I should go.
And I don't think it's an exaggeration to say today, after Donald Trump, the left hates you more than any person on earth.
Yes, I appear to be number 2. I mean, if you're judged by the various signs,
It's derangement. It's Trump derangement syndrome and Elon derangement syndrome.
Yes.
How is it that for you? That's a little bit of whiplash of going from being like Mr. Cool to the devil incarnate in just a couple of years. Is that kind of weird to experience that transformation?
Yes.
Why do they hate you so much?
Well, because we're clearly over the target. If DOGE was ineffective, if we were not actually getting rid of a bunch of waste and fraud, and a bunch of that fraud, the fraud we're seeing is overwhelmingly on the left.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not zero.
Really?
Right? But these NGOs are almost all left-wing NGOs that are being funded, for example.
Yep.
Let me tell you this, guys. NGOs, left-wing predominantly, act blue. It's left Democratic. If we find out for the past 12 to, say, 16 years since Obama that the only reason Democrats have even won or gotten anything is because they literally stole all this money and that's how they funded it, man, guys, I'm telling you, a reckoning is coming.
So they hate me because DOGE is being effective. And DOGE is getting rid of a lot of waste and fraud that people on the left were taking advantage of. That's what it comes down to. And the single biggest thing that they're worried about is that DOGE is going to turn off fraudulent payments of entitlements. I mean, everything from Social Security, Medicare, unemployment, disability, Small Business Administration loans, turn them off to illegals. This is the crux of the matter.
Yep.
Okay. This is the thing that why they really hate my guts and want me to die.
And do you think that's billions, hundreds of billions? What do you think the scale is of that?
I think across the country, it's well north of 100 billion, maybe 200 billion. By using entitlements fraud, the Democrats have been able to attract and retain vast numbers of illegal immigrants.
And buy voters.
And buy voters, exactly. They basically bring in, 10, 20 million people who are beholden to the Democrats for government handouts and will vote overwhelmingly Democrat, as has been demonstrated in California. This is
it's an election strategy.
Yes.
It's power.
Yes, and it doesn't take much to turn the swing states blue. I mean, often a swing state might be won by 10, 20,000 votes.
Sure.
So if the Dems can bring in 200,000 illegals and over time get them legalized, not counting any cheating that takes place, because there is some cheating, but even without cheating, if you bring in illegals that are 10x the voter differential in a swing state, it will no longer be a swing state.
Right.
And the Dems will win all the swing states, just a matter of time, and America will be permanent, deep blue socialist state. The House, the Senate, the presidency, and the Supreme Court will all go hardcore Dem. They will then further cement that by bringing in even more aliens, so you can't vote your way out of it.
Their objective is to make it
one-party socialist state, and it'll be much worse than California, because at least California is mitigated by the fact that someone can leave California.
Right, you can go to Texas.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what you
they're
did.
going to make everywhere California but worse.
By the way, the middle of the pandemic, I spent 45 minutes on the phone with Elon. He was still in California. I was walking my dog, Snowflake, and trying to convince you, come to Texas. The commies in California can't stand you. We love you. We want you here. And you didn't quite go then, but you went not that long afterwards.
I mean, the COVID actions almost killed Tesla, because they let every other auto plant in the country was allowed to open, but ours, which was in California, was not allowed to open.
Wow.
So they almost killed Tesla.
So as a personal matter, do you ever regret it? Like 5 years ago, you go to the Oscars and we're Mr. Cool, and now you've got death threats every day. Like, do you?
Well, these days the Oscars are boring. I wouldn't want to go.
God bless the movies they nominate. No one on earth has ever seen. Like, could they actually nominate a movie that human beings go watch?
I mean, how many great movies have come out in the last several years?
Not many.
Very few.
Depressingly few.
Yeah, very few. The last Oscars came and went. I didn't even watch it. There's nothing to see.
I was sad that Gene Hackman just passed away, because Unforgiven was spectacular, but that was a long time ago that Unforgiven came out.
You mentioned today.
Guys, let me tell you this. It was insane to see that even whenever it came to that movie Nixon, oh man, who played in it? Nixon, Richard Nixon, the movie, who played it? What's his name? How can I not be knowing this guy's name? He's super famous. He played in Twister. He played in, let's see. Oh, so much. There it is. Okay. It was so crazy, guys, that even, no. Because they did not have, certain, like, a black person or Hispanic or LGBTQ, that this movie wasn't even nominated, and they totally lost out on all the publicity that they could have gotten with that. And all I'm thinking is, like, you got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. Like, all this stuff, this DEI stuff continues to happen, and they just don't get it. I don't believe it. It blows my mind. But I want to say, guys, thank you so much, John Reppy, for the super chat. He said, best real news on YouTube. God bless you all. MAGA, let's go. Y'all show John some love in the chat. I want to say thank you to everybody who's watching. Thank you to all of our subscribers. Guys, thank you so much for all your support, for sharing these videos. If you don't mind hitting that thumbs up like button, we really appreciate your support. I want to say thank you to all of our members of the channel. Guys, you are killing it. Remember, today is the last day to order the t-shirts. We're turning them off after tonight, guys. And then we'll be working to get those orders out to everybody. But we're so excited that you partnered with us to purchase. Remember, a good portion of these sales is going to charity. And in about 5 days, we're going to be doing our online charity giving, guys. And I'm so excited about it, guys. I want to say thank you so much to Juan Carlos, Scott Matthews, Teresa Weber, Denise Denton, Chip Trapp, Ty Matt Chong, Celestino Marina, Judy Lynn Loving Spirit, Lisa Anderson, and John Reppy. Guys, y'all show them some love in the chat. I'm so excited for where things are going. Tomorrow's going to be a huge day. JFK Files. What the heck is going to go on, guys? We are going to see some big things drop. I love you all so much. Appreciate you. And we'll see you in the next one.